but we're going to turn our attention to last night at Anfield. And despite Liverpool's victory over Roma, events off the field have overshadowed that, with the news today that 53-year-old Sean Cox from Dunboyne in County Meath is in a critical condition after being attacked near the stadium. Both clubs have condemned the attacks. UEFA say they are deeply shocked by the events and are waiting to receive full reports before deciding on potential disciplinary charges. And Eamon, well, we speak for everybody, our thoughts very much with Sean and his family in Dunboyne and in Liverpool this evening, because members of his family have travelled over. But your thoughts on all of this and those shocking events from last night?
I think it's terrible. Liverpool have a huge Irish fan base. People will identify very much with the Cox family and wish them well. It's really, I think, a consequence of the attack on the Manchester City bus when they played at Anfield a few weeks ago. There were shocking scenes that were televised and went viral of Liverpool fans attacking the City bus. And I think that may have planted the seed in the Roma fans, because it is Roma fans who are responsible for this in their mind. And they're a bad lot. They have a bad minority that follow them. And Lazio, the other team in Rome. But Roma fans are renowned for their bad behaviour, or known for their bad behaviour, not renowned. And it may have planted a seed in their mind that there would be a threat there. And it attracts them, the idea of violence. And 9 were arrested, 2 have been charged, as I understand it, with attempted murder. Now, we thought soccer had got rid of this, and this incident last night reminds us of how tenuous that is. Ultimately, it's not Liverpool Football Club's responsibility, it's a policing matter.
Because it happened outside?
It's outside the stadium, yes, but it's very, very troubling indeed that it's attached itself to Liverpool Football Club. And don't forget, there's a second leg next week in Rome, where there is a bad history of visiting fans, particularly visiting English fans, being attacked. And it's deeply and tragically ironic there's an Irishman who's critically ill tonight.
Yeah, reading earlier on today, like you mentioned about the history of Roma fans and 17 years of clashes with English supporters. Liverpool fans attacked in 01 in Rome, Middlesbrough fans 06 in Rome, 07 Manchester United fans were attacked in Rome, 09 Arsenal fans attacked, 2012 Spurs fans, and then last year Chelsea fans attacked in Rome when they were drinking in a bar. Didi, your thoughts on all of this? I'm sure you were in contact with people from your former club today, and Liverpool issued another statement today, again repeating their shock at the whole incident. They're assisting the family in any way they can, and everybody very concerned for Sean Cox tonight.
No, 100%, and I spoke to somebody at the club, and they have a meeting this week now what's going to happen next week, because obviously they've got a contingency of tickets, so you need to see who you give them to and where you want these people to sit and how to travel to the game. So it leaves a lot of questions for next week, and obviously we wish Sean well and hope he'll be okay. But I think the two questions that have to be asked, one is, these guys, if they go to a football ground or outside a football ground and they decide to attack somebody with a knife, it begs the question, should they have been there in the first place? Should they have been allowed? Because, we don't want to speculate, but I suppose there might be history that should these people allowed to travel with Roma to an away game to England? And the other thing is, it's right outside the ground, and we know that Italian clubs and especially Roma fans got history of attacking other fan groups and especially English fans. Whether there should be a situation where these people face each other right in front of the ground. I think there should be police presence. Of course, it's very hard if somebody pulls a knife. It's very hard to stop them doing it. But I think that the fan groups or the fan bases have to be separated as much as you can. And apparently, all these guys were dressed in black, so they would have stood out from the Roma fans who went there to watch football. So I think yes, it's a policing issue. But at the same time, I think it also has to address whether these people should have been there in the first place, because, we're going back to the 80s where we had these incidents on a regular basis, and obviously it's not what we see inside or outside a football ground.
Yeah, like Damien, that was, I suppose, a topic of discussion all around the country, I suppose, today about, you know, people remembering those horrible days of the 80s with scenes from, particularly in England, but all over Europe and all over the world, these horrible, horrific scenes. And we thought, as Eamon said, that football, the game, had moved away from that.
Well, sadly, it doesn't look like it has. I think the rivalry between Roma and Liverpool, correct me if I'm wrong, Eamon, it goes back to the Champions League final back in 1984.
Yeah.
But listen, with these things and football fans, usually it's a minority that gives the majority of fans a bad name. But I think in this case, Roma, like you said, do have history. The one thing I'd say, if I had a ticket to go to the second leg, I wouldn't go. If I had family going, I wouldn't want them to go. And not for Liverpool fans looking for revenge, because for me, they're amongst the best supporters in the world. Just because of Roma's pure history, that they'll just go for it again. Let's have more of this. So I'd worry for people going across. But again, I'd like to echo the lads' best wishes to Sean. I hope he gets well.
Absolutely. And look, we echo as well, you know, it's a tiny minority of these lunatics who claim to support Roma, who are responsible for these things, but we did, as we've shown, mention about you know, a repeated history of this tiny minority who claim to represent that club, who've got involved in trouble. And look, as it happens, I know Sean Cox, met him many times in his role. He's the former chairman of Dunboyne GA Club. He's a lovely man, and as all of us have said, we sent him his best and his family tonight.